So with all of that being said, I'm going to look at my list and try to figure out my handwriting. What? Oh, we need a sacrificial poet. I'm just kidding. None of you are reading yet. Before we go on, we're going to have a sacrificial poet so everybody can test out their whiteboards, I guess. And that sacrificial poet is none other than our own Johnathon.
Real quick, while I am pulling this up, typically when you start engaging with the audience, there is the time would start. However, I've got information for you all coming up on the weekend of May 19th, which is when our second show of the month typically is. That is when Sideshow is happening. If you've never been to Sideshow in this very building, definitely come check it out. Lots of great bands, lots of great art, lots of great performers from all kinds of genres of music and things of that nature. Also, not officially official yet, but we're pretty sure since April's National Poetry Month, it's also going to be the New Shit Slam, which means you can only read stuff you haven't read before. For people like myself who bring their Time Life Greatest Hits collections to the stage every week, it's really an unfortunate decision. I'm kind of disappointed in myself for making it. This is called Torch Song for Lorena Bobbitt. For kids growing up in the early 90s, John and Lorena Bobbitt were the punchline of many a playground joke. Made just out of the earshot of our teachers and bereft of all of the knowledge they would one day impart upon us. Lorena Bobbitt played the role of the crazy female John Bobbitt's name used to describe any man whose actions might get his penis cut off while he slept at night. We weren't old enough to actually watch the news. This is to say, we didn't write our own material. Punchlines stolen from dinner table jokes where too often our fathers were the only ones laughing. Fathers who chose the appropriate audience for a joke with the same presence of mind it took them to crack the window a quarter inch before lighting a cigarette. It was the 90s. Can't really explain it to you now. And many of us grew up to be our father's sons, despite expert witness testimony from both the prosecution and defense stating, quote, he had mentally and physically battered her, that the abuse was escalating, and that by 1993 she lived in constant fear of him. When she was found not guilty, it was due to insanity. As if her desire to live were insane, as if she were making it all up, as a generation of fathers cracked another joke before cracking the window a quarter inch. John Bobbitt was acquitted on marital rape charges. They said there were too many differing accounts of what had actually occurred. More likely, this was 1993, and marital rape had just become a crime nationwide. Before that, fathers were free to joke, she already said I do when they got married. Light a cigarette. No cracked window, inhale slow, son. These things will make a man out of you. Too many of us grew up to be our father's sons, toxins hanging on our breath. John Bobbitt's penis would be surgically reattached. If you're wondering if it still worked, he would go on to appear in 2 adult films. Lorena Bobbitt was court-ordered to undergo a 45-day psychiatric evaluation. Father tells son joke, lights cigarette, passes torch to son, son inhales.